Hey, you guys, welcome to another episode of Girl, Is That Legal? So today's episode is called Sunday Service, and today's very special. The victims, Christian Gold's victims, Christian Gold and Jennifer Williams' victims, will be joining us today, just a sampling of them, to share their story about how they believed that they were conned out of hundreds of thousands of dollars. And the reason why this is relevant to basketball wives and this whole saga is because these hundreds and thousands of dollars that we're talking about, it appears that they were used to finance Jennifer's lifestyle, her cars, her bags. Remember, she said she don't do broke. Her cars, her bags, her house, all of the above. Those things, it appears, were used and or created and financed, including the wedding, financed by this what appears to be a Ponzi scheme. So we've got about 10 victims that are backstage that want to share their stories. And we're going to start. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to let all of them come onto the screen at once, including you, Alteria. I'm going to let you all come onto the screen. I'm going to add you. They've also shared some receipts with us. So we're going to take a look at all those. And ultimately, I want to know from you guys. So I call my subscribers the jury. Hit that subscribe, guys. We'll let everybody come back in. We had about 2,000 in the chat earlier this morning. I probably should have just kept it going, but I wanted to make sure that I had the opportunity to, have everybody ask their questions and stuff like that. So somebody said this can't be legal. Commenters, I'm looking at the commenters. They said, I'm wondering if he's going to do jail. If he's going to do jail, is she going to go visit him? Jennifer, ooh, that's a good question. As fancy as Jennifer is she going to visit this man? Now, before we get started, I got a disclaimer down there. So as I've told each of the alleged victims that I've spoken to, I'm not your lawyer, but I would like to give you a platform so that you can communicate with other alleged victims, share your story as you want. Obviously, sharing it on a public platform like this, whatever you say, anticipate that both Christian and his lawyers are going to be listening to. But here, this is a channel, Girl, Is That Legal? This is a channel of infotainment. We both entertain and learn at the same time. So here we go. Yeah, 10. So I'm going to go ahead and you got names as well. So we've got Tolu, Lisa, Joe, Anonymous is back, Carmen, Mandy, Marty, Alteria, and Alteria is not here to play. I'm just telling you that right now. She's not here to play. And of course, I got my girl, Vanessa from Reality T Recap, who is back. So, and as you're here, Vanessa, one of the things I need help with is of course, I have on my legal hat, my lawyer hat. As you hear different things from different victims sharing their story, feel free, Vanessa, to ask the question of the non-lawyer, right? The regular person who's both trying to figure out, how do I make sure I don't get scammed like this, as well as, make sure you have a good understanding of how this all went down. So I'm going to start with Carmen. Carmen.
Yes.
Let me know. So I'm gonna kind of set up the facts as I know that you have, and I want to give you 2 to 3 minutes to kind of give your backstory, and then I'm gonna play a clip of Christian. We have a clip, guys, of Christian coaching and making promises to his victims. All right. So Carmen, part of your backstory and how you got here is you are permanently disabled, correct?
Correct.
All right. And you suffered from certain health ailments that have made it impossible for you to work at the level of employment and income that you once had. And as a result, you filed, as you're entitled to, you filed claims with Social Security disability. And it took you a long, good fight. It took you quite a while to get your money. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. And then, of course, once you got on disability, your lifestyle and stuff had to change. You had to live more conservatively. And part of how you were so attracted to Christian's financial wealth management program was because he made certain promises that basically encouraged you to give your entire savings to this man because you got that nice size lump sum settlement. And here we are today, because not only does he not invested it, it does not appear that he has invested it in the way in which he made certain promises, but now he's saying there is nothing left. Is that correct? That's the gist.
That's correct.
All right. Go ahead. Start with, how did you hear about Christian initially? How'd you come to even hire him as your money manager?
Okay, so my story is sort of similar to Anonymous's story and how she learned about Christian. I follow Jennifer on social media, Instagram, and that's how I found out about him. And so um, I had been, throughout the course of time, I, heard talk about day trading and how lucrative it can be to invest monies in day trading. So when I saw that, he had this, I went on his page on Instagram, same thing that Anonymous did, and I thought I was doing my due diligence as well by going on the website to see exactly what this guy does. So the website was very professional, professionally laid out. And so when I reached out to schedule a consult with him, I had already had it ingrained that I was going to, give him a try. I just wanted to hear how he could possibly help me better secure my future, as he puts it.
Okay, and to
So,
confirm, did he charge you anything for the consult, or was the consultation
no,
free?
no, he doesn't charge anything for the consultation.
Okay,
So, let's make that clear. He does not charge for the consultation. However, what he does charge for is he explained to me in the consultation that he can do well, he said I had two choices. I could choose to allow him to manage my account, which would give not only me access, but he would have access to my account so that he could go in and trade for me. And I could just chill, kick back on autopilot and just let him do his thing. And that fee was $2,500. That is the lifetime account management portion of his business or so-called business.
correct.
Now, if you wanted to go under and become a student, he has a mastery class or program which he charges, I believe, 10,000. I know nothing about day
Girl,
trading, so I immediately said, "Okay, I'm sold. I would like for you to help manage my account since I figured he knew what he was doing." Okay,
all right. What
so
made
I
you
went
think
ahead.
that he knew what he was doing? Tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, again, again, because I have no knowledge of the day trading industry, he was talking about he was giving all kind of day trading lingo and things of that nature, and I was perusing around when he uh, allowed me to join the group. At the time, it was Liquid Asset Automation, but that has since
What the hell does
changed
that
to
mean? I've been trying to
uh,
figure that out. What does that
right.
mean?
Well,
Anybody know?
you have to ask him or Carlos since he said all of it is liquid on Carlos's interview. Anyway, I digress. So anyway, so he charges 10,000 for his class, if his mastery class, if you want to learn how to trade, or if you want him to manage your account personally, you know, he charges 2,500. However, I joined in at the time that he had given a discount,
Of
which
course.
which was for like 1,700, I believe. So I paid 1,700 for him to for account management.
Now,
Now,
here's the
being
thing. Here's one of my
hmm
questions. This was
uh-huh,
to manage, if you don't mind us knowing, to manage how much money?
however much money that I wanted him to
So
manage,
it's a
whatever
flat
I
rate
funded
fee.
my account,
Okay.
it's your choice of how you wanted, how much money you wanted to fund.
Do you
The
feel
minimum
comfortable
amount would
stating
be
how much? Sorry, do you feel comfortable stating how much you invested? Some people have asked me this
at the
already.
time, because I was kind of out at first. After I gave him the initial 1,700, I thought that that paid for everything, but apparently I was mistaken. I misunderstood what he said. That only paid for him to
Correct?
that was the fee for him to manage. I had to fund it out of my pocket, which okay, cool, no problem.
No, it's
So
not cool. So
Oh,
let me
well,
just
yeah, I'm
clarify.
just, I'm trying to
No
speed it
problem.
up because I know the other victims need to step up.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna let you
So,
continue. Go
yeah,
ahead.
I'm just trying to condense it as quickly as I can.
Okay.
So, I went ahead, gave him the 1700, and I funded my account at the time $100 because, okay, he also told me about some energy company where I could purchase 7,000 shares. So I gave this bastard $1,000, I believe, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken. And
Okay.
to everybody that's listening, I'm when I tell you I'm 98 hot, and if I was to see, can I speak freely? Is it
Yeah.
possible I can
Yeah.
speak? If
Just go
I was to
ahead.
see this
I'll edit later.
motherfucker on site, he would be dead. So he, when I tell you I'm pissed, this bastard, and I can understand why Jennifer is choosing to just go along with and just play along with this whole situation because he had me for a minute. I literally fell out with my friend Marty. Her and I got into it over this nigga. She was that friend that
Interesting.
was
Just like
telling me,
Jennifer.
Nene, don't do it. But
Mhm.
yeah, I went ahead and I was like, well, he's credible. He's this. So we had stopped talking for a minute, you know? And so,
Just like
anyway, like
Jennifer
I
and two of
said,
her friends. Yeah, who tried to
yeah.
warn
So
her as well.
I was believing I was sipping the Kool-Aid too for a minute, for a few months, until I started seeing patterns. So, I also paid for merchandise that I never received. Don't
Them
know where
damn
the hell
hats,
that went to.
them
What
hats
Don't
for
know
kind
what
of
sale. What'd you
what
get? What'd
kind of
you buy?
merchandise?
At the time, he was selling hoodies and T-shirts, the compound interest hoodies and T-shirts, and I believe I paid like $80 because I paid for a hoodie and a T-shirt. Y'all, I was riding for this nigga so motherfucking hard. I told this bitch that I would tattoo the name of the fucking company because now he did show me because in the beginning, because I joined last year, September of last year. So this nigga was showing me I had access to the platform and he had it as well. So yeah, I'm believing it. That's where he got me hook, line, and sinker because
All right.
I had access to the platform, my own personal account too. And then when the
Simone,
merge took place, that's when
Simone,
he said,
Yes. Who's calling? Is that
can I
Altaria?
this is Marty. Can I interject real quick?
Okay, yes. Marty's her best friend. And yeah,
Okay,
Marty,
I'm the
once
best
you
friend,
interject,
and I
and
know
then I'm gonna
I
tag hold
need.
on, and then I'm gonna tag you in Altaria
Okay,
because I can just see you're chomping at the bit, and I know why. Okay. Marty, real quickly, what did you want to add before I add
okay.
uh
I just want to add this. I know Nene is a little well, however you want to call her, is a little bit long winded. But to make a long story short, yes, I was the friend that told her don't trust him. But I really want to just say this because I know she's going to tell y'all every little detail. The point is from A to Z, she's disabled. She doesn't have money. She got a lump sum close to $30,000 and did and wanted to get out of her situation, and
mhm.
she felt that she could that Christian could manage the money, and that's what she did. She gave him $30,000 and has not seen a penny of it today. And every time she was supposed to get that money,
Yes.
there was a reason that it could not. There were different payouts, and it
I
really
got
wasn't until this summer where I had to kind of just hit her on the head and say,
you.
"Look." And that's where we are today, because all the
Okay.
other things is, it's a lot of money that she's invested. She's disabled. She is homeless right now, and I really just want to kind of speed forward where she is now because of all this money that has been given to
Right.
him, and she really needs her finances.
And guys, I just want to tell you, we're going to talk resources, we're going to talk options as well, because I appreciate you guys coming on, sharing your story. So before you leave today, I am going to offer you some pro bono legal services. We will talk about what those are, what my thoughts at the legal strategy should be with respect to that. And if you guys are consent, if you're comfortable with that, then I will happily represent you in front of this judge at the September 6th hearing where he is
I'd
asking our
like to go to
participants
it
to go to
personally.
Europe and lollygag and have the time of his life on your life savings. So
Oh, I'd
next
like to
up,
go to this hearing
oh yeah, next up
personally.
it'll be in Atlanta, September 6th, 9:30 a.m. Sincerely, Tasha asks again, are the victims reporting to the SEC about the fraud? Yes. So the answer is yes. SEC and FBI are the appropriate entities. FBI, particularly, they work in conjunction with the SEC in certain circumstances. I'm going to let Alteria come on up, and here we go. Unmute yourself. Yes.
All right. Can you hear me?
And Alteria is basically like she brought in, there's like 8 of the people that are here are people that she is aware of, and there's more, but victims that she's been working with. So go ahead, I'll let you go ahead and start with how you know Christian.
So, matter of fact, most of the people that are connected to me are on this call. I know Christian, and several of the individuals on this call know Christian because we were all in the same network marketing company at one time. We didn't know Christian directly because we met Christian. We knew his baby's mom, who has his 2 youngest kids. So we met Christian through her. Now, the reason why I'm mad and I'm not playing is because he used my name and my credibility to get a lot of people in this to take their money. So
He sure did.
when I got into this, he was Profitable Trading Group. Okay. I paid $500 for the class. And I learned some things, but I still didn't really understand it. That's when he switched over to liquid asset automation. Now, he told my husband and I, hey, I can start up this account. I can manage this account for you guys, make you guys some money. You can pull out whenever you want, this, that, the other. At the time, he charged us $1,500 to manage an account. Now, I will say this because this is how he used me to get other people in. We funded our account with $3,000. Now, within about 2 weeks to 2 to 3 weeks, the $3,000 grew to 12 grand. While my husband and I were in Vegas, my husband was able to log into the MetaTrader account and he was able to hit transfer and transfer the money to his Cash App. That
Wonderful.
is where Christian used us as a hook, line, sinker. Altera and Tobias made 12 grand. They were able to cash out. Now, that's also where he got us because my husband, in February of 2023, he sued his job, which was Lithia. He's all over the headlines, and it's a multi-billion-dollar company. He won thousands upon thousands of dollars. Guess where it went? To Christian. Because Christian, not only did he have us in this lifetime management account, he had this thing called projects. Okay. There was Project 100, Project 200, Project 500, Project 1000, Project 2000. When he started this, it was Project 1000. Project 1000, what this project is and how he explained it is it's like the lottery. Okay. So Project 1000 has 1,000 spots that can be bought. Each spot costs $100. This project is going to be traded for a year's time period. And at the end of the year, however many spots you own, you're going to get paid out that percentage of whatever the account is
Okay.
collectively. You're going to
Right.
get paid out that percentage.
Right.
Now, there were people who said, hey, I don't want a year to make money. I want to make money faster than that. So he started Project 100. Project 100 is 100 spots, $100 a piece. You're supposed to only be in that project for 3 months. He started Project 200, 200 spots. That project is a 6-month project.
Yeah, it
500.
sounds it does sound similar. Hold on. People are saying like a susu. It sounds similar, except it's not the movement all the way around, but it does sound very similar. Keep going.
Yeah. So then Project 500 was a 9-month account. And then he had Project 2000, which was a year and a half account. Now, my husband and I invested in every single one of these accounts except for Project 100. And when it got to Project 2000, he had reached out to us and said, "Hey, I have this many spots left in Project 2000. I want to get it going. I want to start trading. I'll give you a discount if you buy the last of the spots, which is $1,900." We bought the last of the spots. And mind you guys, this is back in March of 2024. And this is where I
Of
realized we weren't,
23,
no,
23.
2024, this year.
Oh, this year, just months
Yes,
ago.
this year. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is where I started realizing we were being scammed. So when he sent us the $1,900, mind you guys, after my husband sued his company, he lost his job. My husband is a finance manager in the car industry. He makes about $20,000 to $30,000 a month.
Oh
When you
yeah, I
lose
know.
when you lose your job making that much money and you've got that much money in bills and six kids, you very much struggle. Okay. And so we had gave him the $1,900. An emergent bill came up, and we said to him, "Hey, did you put that in Project 200 and start trading the account?" He said no. And we said, "Okay, can we have the $1,900 back? Our light bills are about to be shut off, cars about to be taken. We need the $1,900." It took him 3 weeks to give us $1,900 when it took us 5 minutes to give him $1,900.
Now
And
hold
I
on.
mean,
At the time that you joined him, what did the contract say
there was no
regarding?
contract. There was
That's
no
my
contract.
point. I didn't think
There
there
was no
was.
contract. No,
But
there wasn't.
am I correct that he then subsequently recently, after my videos started coming out, sent everyone a contract with these new ridiculous effing terms that and it had the audacity to say with that contract that by receiving this you're agreeing to it. Is that correct?
Right. So, and he didn't even send everybody it. He didn't send it to my husband. He didn't send it to my brother-in-law who's in it. A few people that are actually on this live didn't ever receive that contract either.
He knew
I
Um,
better.
didn't I didn't get it either.
No, didn't. Okay.
see, so not everybody got it, but we when we asked for this $1,900, here's was his excuses. "Oh, I don't have liquid cash on me." Okay.
Oh,
So we
wait, wait,
said,
wait, wait, wait,
so
Vanessa.
yeah,
Hold on, I'll tell you.
yeah, yeah,
Vanessa,
yeah,
did we
yeah.
not hear
I'm not,
in the
yes,
promo scene he's all about liquid?
yes,
Liquid.
yes. So he did not have cash on him. So he said, "All of my money is on credit cards." So this is what I said.
What? You
I
mean
said,
debt?
"Okay, hold on." I said, "Okay, since it's on credit cards, I own a coffee shop. I can send you an invoice. You can go ahead and pay that invoice by credit card. That way it goes into my bank account." No, he could not pay by credit card. Then it was, "Oh, all of my money is actually in the trade account trading." So he couldn't pay it to us. So it took three
No,
weeks
you
for
can
us.
take it out. Just like you can put it in, you can take it out.
Exactly.
I was gonna say, because didn't you say how your husband cash app and
Yes,
took out
yes, yes.
immediately?
And I'm
So
telling you guys, my husband's not one to play with. And he told Christian knows that I'm going to ruin his life. I have told him that to his face, and I am 100% dead sure on this. I am going to do it. And Jennifer, too, because Jennifer is on Zooms. As many of you guys know, if you were on the
Mm-hmm.
Zooms, she was in
Mm-hmm.
the kitchen wiping a clean ass kitchen down that didn't need to be cleaned. And all of us know
Mm-hmm.
as Black women, we ain't in a clean kitchen wiping shit down without listening into the conversation.
Now, other victims that are on there, I know you haven't told your story yet, but do you also feel like Jennifer is complicit in this scheme?
So I will tell you, if you
Let me
want to
hear.
bring up Tolu, Tolu will tell you what he knows about Jennifer because he's spoken to her.
Oh, what? Yes. And someone has asked, this sounds like a Ponzi scheme. What I'm telling you guys is this absolutely is. And I appreciate you guys' feedback. I'm trying to give everyone a chance to share their part of the story. I know Tolu might be listening. You might be like multitasking. So, Tolu, you're still on mute. I'm not sure if you're trying to talk yet, but when you are ready, I would love to hear that. Because, so the title of this video is where we talk about, are the two of them complicit? the part of it is this. Um, from those of you guys that I've talked to beforehand, my understanding is many of you feel the number one question is, where do y'all think the money is gone? Anyone who wants to answer that, I'd love to hear your
Offshore
thoughts.
account. I
To the
believe it's an
wedding.
offshore account.
To the wedding.
I think the money's in her ring and in her Rolls Royce. Period. Well, not
All of
even the
that.
Rolls Royce, because I've got text messages. I was trying to pull them up on my husband's old phone here, but I've got text messages where he tells my husband when we're begging for our $1,900. He said, "How much is your car payment?" My husband said $1,600, and he said, "Oh, I wish my car Jennifer's car payment was $1,600. It's $6,000 for that Rolls Royce a month.
Yeah,
6 grand."
I think it's affording the lifestyle that she
Hmm.
said that he on the show. She openly said that he affords for most of their lifestyle together. That's
Hmm.
why I truly think it is.
I'm actually
Hmm.
not, someone said y'all are going to get Jennifer as an accessory. No, I'm saying, Jennifer, this is why you need to make sure, just, you don't have to believe me. I'm just Joe Blow, lawyer from the internet, but get your own. Your friends are telling you things because they love you. Um, and I understand, like, as a woman, we want to believe, hey, this is our chance. This is our chance to have our Prince Charming, blah, blah, blah. But you don't want to be ride or die and end up dying. You don't want to die for a criminal. And in
And
this
there's nobody
situation,
riding for you. Yeah.
yeah, and they're not writing for you. He would have never put you in a situation where your wedding is on hold, all of your guests, everyone's about to be embarrassed simply because he didn't apply for a travel pass. This is so, it's not only, it's such an easy thing to do, right? The travel pass was like the initial problem. Second of all, so we've got, yeah, with this money, the question becomes, where is it gone? Because the other component of this is, I did background checks on the both of them. Part of these background checks, Vanessa saw it. We did it behind screen so that I wanted to make sure that you guys that she could see. Look, I checked all the little boxes for I'm gonna put some of it on the screen. I checked all the little boxes for what do you call it? Uh assets. Christian has not one asset. He does not own a home. He does not own a car. And Jennifer, she owns a home. She owns a nice townhouse in Atlanta, but that's it. Jennifer doesn't even own the vehicles she drives. Those are leased. This man is selling even her, I believe, a bag of goods. But
Hmm.
the way you got to get out when it's time to get out is this what you're hearing, guys? I'm going to let them go into more detail, and we've got videos to share of him. This is what wire fraud looks like in real life. And
Mm.
wire fraud will get your ass all wrapped up in something you had no idea you were even participating in. If he's had her move money to any accounts or anything like that that belongs to these victims, or that was taken from these victims under these auspices, you better run. And at a minimum, just get a consultation from a lawyer that you actually trust that does white collar financial fraud. Don't call the same dude that filed your LLC. He ain't gonna be able to help you. Continue, Alteria. I'm sorry, I had my little tangent.
No, you're fine. So, and here's the funny part is when we first got into this, like I said, we had access, we could see everything. Then he
Okay.
switched platforms.
Why
When
was
he
that? Why do you
switched
think that was?
so he was first, like I said, I took some of his classes and I took classes with other companies, so I know a little bit about trading. So the first platform he was using was Hugo's Way, which is connected to MetaTrader 4.
Okay.
Now, Hugo's Way used to, which Hugo's Way no longer has a relationship with MetaTrader 4. Hugo's Way used to make it so that him as a trader could log into our account in the background and trade, but he could not pull our money out. He could not do that. Only we could, because we created the account. We just gave him access to the account.
Okay.
Okay. When Hugo's Way severed their relationship with MetaTrader 4, he moved over to something called Sway Markets. Sway Markets has their own little platform that you trade on. And honestly, I can't even read what's on Sway Markets. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Okay, this
So
is
when
above my
he's,
head. I'm a little
yeah.
above, but just kind of bring you here. He changed. So the original one, you guys could see everything that he was doing. The one he's changed to, are you able to see all of the trades and everything that's happening?
So from my understanding, you can. There is a way to see it, but it literally is, it's a foreign language. Unless
Okay.
you know what you're doing, you don't know what
So
it's saying.
so then the answer technically would be no, that you don't know if what you're seeing is what he's telling you. So for example,
Exactly.
if you were to look
Exactly.
at whatever is happening, you're not able to say, like when I go in my E-Trade, I'm able to see the price that I bought my Amazon for, which was $270. What is it?
Hmm.
10 years ago. I'm able to see what it's worth now after the stock split. And I'm able to say each day if there's an up or down,
Right.
and know what's going on. And most importantly, I'm able to go in that bad boy and take my money out any given Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever.
Yeah.
So if you
Yeah.
wanted to take your money out right now, could you?
No.
Nope.
No.
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 The
So
And
way
I've
what?
he had it
never,
set
to
up.
be clear, oh, sorry to interrupt, guys,
No,
but
go ahead.
I never had access to a system. When I asked him about it, he always said, "Oh, I'm in the middle of transitioning." So,
Yeah.
but if
So
anytime
he
you want to know
Yeah,
your
if you
account
joined
balance, just
this
reach
year,
out
you
to me.
probably wouldn't have access.
you
This
wouldn't have access to anything.
if you joined this
And
year.
that's because he switched the platform. So when he switched the
Exactly.
platforms, and this is all in his Telegram chat, and
Mm-hmm.
what he doesn't know is before I started, so I had a meeting with Christian in May, me as well as Lisa, Tolu, Mandy, um Jody wasn't on. There were a few, quite, I think there were 11 of us on, and I have it
Okay.
recorded. This is where I confronted Christian. Now, before I confronted Christian, I said to everybody who was connected to me, y'all better get another phone, get on Telegram, record everything from beginning to end, because this man is either going to delete or block us. Okay. So I have everything from beginning to end with this man. And he had, at one point, he was sending us account balances that
Mm-hmm.
looked like they were trading, but that only happened two or three times. Then what it went to was writing it out like a text message,
Oh, that's what I
literally.
was gonna say. But in pause, even when you say he was sending you guys, it wasn't it just screenshots of something?
So it is screenshots. So I actually recently
Hmm.
just went to one of mine because when I confronted him in a group text, he started side texting me and sending me screenshots of, I'm not a scammer. This is the real account balance. Well, if you look at it, he crops everything. You can't even see the name of his cell phone company. You can't see if the money was pulled out. All you see is an account balance. Yes.
Hmm.
But it's funny because my husband and I were looking at one of these accounts last night because I
Uh-huh.
said, yeah, you're right. I said, well, he did crop it out. But then there was something I didn't notice. And the victims on here will tell you as well. Guys, did he not say he was going to be trading every single day with a 2 to 3% return every
Hmm.
He
day?
sure did.
Yep, that's
Okay.
what he said.
So
Yep.
Absolutely.
this screenshot that I have, he traded on 5/17 of 24 and made $223,000.
Okay.
Then he traded again on July 12th and made $5,100. That's not
Say
every
what?
day to me.
Wait a minute.
And he
Hold
was
up.
trading on US 30. And I've got those screenshots
I don't know what
This
US
year.
30 is, but go
this
ahead.
year.
That's not the lie he told me. He said that
Oh,
we
well,
were
so
in a
I got the
down
screenshot.
trade ever since May 15th.
What's a
We had
down
been in
trade?
a down trade or whatever the heck it was, and we've been in that since May 15th. And if he were to
Here's,
pull out any of the monies,
yeah,
we would take a major hit.
yeah,
Uh,
and see,
child.
here's where my husband and I caught him, because again, you're lying to people that you taught how to trade. If so, you can make money in trading either going up or going down. Okay,
Right.
it's called a buy or a sell. Now, if you put in a trade that says, I'm going to say US 30 today is going to go up, so we're buying, okay? And US 30 says, nope, I'm going down. You can hop on that trend and buy going down and make your money back.
I think this is a good point, point for me to play a clip from one of the Zoom videos that Christian used to do, where he was giving regular updates to get people to invest. Simply Cindy, thank you for the great question. Y'all hit that like, hit that subscribe. Simply Cindy has asked, so he made guarantees as to how much could be returned. I'm going to play this clip for you. Before I do, don't forget, I have my book. At SimoneRedwine.com, I spell Simone with a Y, you can get my book, which is Background Checks 101, how to find out the beginner's guide to figuring out who the heck you're dealing with. Okay, it's $20. And literally, you can use this. If before you invest money in anyone, I want you to use this going forward. And two main things you're going to look at. Yes, you're going to look at your their criminal record, because just know, I'm not saying you never want to work with a felon, but I'm saying felons can't be licensed and insured. So you got to decide, do you want to work with someone without a license? I would not. And I sure don't want to do it without insured, because insurance, I was talking with a friend about this. She said, oh, well, Simone, that's not true. You can't get insurance for investing. You can't get insurance to ensure that you're going to make returns. That is correct. But you can get insurance to prevent this, which is that someone doesn't take your money and run the hell on. And that's why people trade with Edward Jones or E-Trade, because if they were to hire one of those investors and they did that, that company's errors and omission, because that is both an error and a form of omission, did that, they ran off with the money. So the guarantees, I'm going to start here. I'm going to pull this down. Here's a little clip from what, so victims on the line, I want to play this. And anybody who wants to jump in and give your thoughts, you can. Let's see, which one is it? 347. Remove it. Can we hear it?
Oh, this must be the video where he gives us all permission to call him a scammer.
Yes, absolutely.
It's not playing.
Absolutely. And
Well,
that's
Yeah,
exactly
and
what we're
then I
doing,
thought it was ads.
Christian.
he said if y'all ain't
We're going to try
earned
it again.
6 figures by this time next year, you could
No,
go
it was
on
seven.
Google, you could go
7.
everywhere and call me a scammer.
And we're
Wow.
doing exactly that, Sir
And
Liar.
yep, there we go.
I'm going to fast forward this just a bit.
This is a jackpot, literally, that we are 100% going to win. At the least, you will make your investment back, right? Right?
Wait, y'all heard that? He said this is a jackpot.
Mm-hmm.
At least you will make your investment back. Who here got your investment back? I'm waiting. Who got your investment back? Anybody?
Crickets.
Alteria, approximately how much did you invest?
It's around $18,000.
Okay.
I'm owed 67,000 and some change, because here's the deal. When we started realizing this was a Ponzi scheme, everybody that was connected to me, when he put in our chat, because what a lot of people don't know is he started moving real funny. So when we had these projects, he all of a sudden said, so let me just rewind. When Project 100 was supposed to pay out, which was the end of February of this year,
Mm-hmm.
I knew people in it. So I called them and I said, "Hey, did he pay you?" They said, "Actually, no. Here's the text message he sent to me."
Okay.
He basically said in the text message, because the account did not make the money that I wanted it to make, and I hold myself to a higher standard, I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
go ahead and merge this account with Project 200, which pays out at the end of May. Now,
So
me,
basically, he was unilaterally saying, I'm not giving you your money today,
right.
but I'm going to give it to you a different
That's the
day.
exact same
Yes.
text
Okay.
message I got.
And
Okay.
he
Now,
did
me,
that. And hold on a second. I just want to clarify. He did that to you multiple times, at least 4 for you, Alteria. Is
Mm,
that correct?
Yes, yes.
me
Okay.
too.
Others on
And
the line, would it be about 4 different times that he basically
Yep.
kept saying,
Because
push
I
it
I
back?
invested in every project like Altaria did.
And
mhm.
ultimately, y'all, what he does with this Ponzi scheme, he pushes back the payment date, pushes it back, and then, oop, now he has recently just told everyone, stock market took a big hit. We lost it all. How
Actually,
inconvenient.
he didn't
Oh,
say we lost it all because my husband is a slick talker and got the exact amount that's left in the account.
okay.
Which is about
So
what
he's got
everybody
some.
it's
I'm
about
trying to
what
hear Loretta
everybody
Devine. Are you a victim? We're only doing victims calling in today. So there we go. So yeah, so let's hear a little bit more from this
so
video. Oh, go ahead.
okay, so with me, because he had started merging these accounts, I said no, 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 guys. The original terms of your investment is that you get paid out on the date he stated. So
Period.
because he breached his
Yes.
investment contract with you, we're going to, and I only know, like I said, I am a business owner. I've already sued somebody before by myself. I know how to do this. So I said to him, you know what? We're going to go ahead since he just stated today there's $1.7 million in this account.
Where
We're
did he
gonna go
state that?
in Telegram, and I've got proof
Okay,
of all that too.
gotcha.
Yeah,
And
he
and
does
and
post the
I have the
balances in the
screen.
Telegram.
I have the
Mm-hmm.
screenshot where after we had sent him our demand letter where he was supposedly losing, it was it literally after he got our demand letter, it was a consistent losing money, big amounts. And he sent me a
Mm-hmm.
screenshot because I said, you're a liar. There's not $1 million in that account.
Same
And
here.
the a screenshot he sent me shows that there's $1.1 million in the account.
But you're right. But
So
that doesn't mean it is your account.
right, exactly. So when we found out and we noticed he wasn't paying out Project 100, we sent a demand letter. And me and the 14 others that came in under me and being connected to me, we on this demand letter we broke down, and you have a copy of that, Simone. We broke down how many spots we were entitled to, what the percentage of each project was, and what the payout was based on the account balance that day. Now had he had paid us in that day or within 30 days of that demand letter like it stated, he wouldn't have lost all of our money because this was
Correct.
way before August.
Yeah. So basically, he never invested that money as he told
No, he
you
never
guys.
lost it. He
And
spent it.
therefore he never lost it. You can't lose what you don't invest. Now, this is a good comment, and I'm gonna play some more of this video, y'all. We're gonna because I love receipts. And I think this video is a great receipt, especially because some of you that are in the chat probably witnessed it and others did not. But Latoya says here, Child Jen better look at how the judge made Erica. Erica is a character from Real Housewives. Give them earrings back. So basically, Erica Jane, her husband was found to be a scammer and scammed people out of millions, millions, millions. And what did they do? They went and they seized the assets of Erica because it was bought with the spoils of the scam. Here, somebody said that Rolls Royce, Simply Sydney said that Rolls Royce about to be repossessed. Well, it would be if he owned it. This is the other
Right.
stupid part. These are his assets. Nothing. He ain't got nothing. Let me tell you what it should list. If he owned a home, it would list that. If he owned cars, it would list them. That means he rents or leases cars. As far as I'm concerned, they're about one and the same because you don't have equity in anything. He ain't got nothing. So, and part of the reason why I looked this up for you guys is because we're going to talk, before we end this call today, we're going to talk about solutions. Because what I don't do is we don't wallow in our self-pity. What we do is we talk it out so we can figure out what the heck is going on. We strategize and then we whoop that tail in the courtroom so that we make sure this never happens to anyone else again. Because I know there's a lot of people out here who probably feel like, oh, I'm just never going to see my money. I don't want to do anything about it. The problem is going to be he's just going to keep scamming. And also think about, this is just like with Apollo. Now, Vanessa, I want to hear your thoughts on this because I know you cover them reality shows, girl. So Vanessa, it's this really reminded me of how, so with Apollo and Phaedra, Apollo claimed that the reason he pulled the scam that he did is because it was so much pressure being on a reality show to keep up with the life. And, Phaedra liked nice things and always wanted to do fancy stuff. And so it was Phaedra's fault that he was scamming people. Vanessa.
It doesn't remind me of that, honestly, just hearing the stories and then with the interview and him saying once they get married, she's going to control all the finances. She's going to be in charge, and seeing the assets, like nothing in his name, more in her name. It feels like he latched himself onto her to kind of be the fall guy, is how I feel about it. It seems like he found someone that he knows, okay, she's already been scammed before. Yep. She clearly didn't learn her lesson. She's a public figure, and it feels like to me he's latched on to her to kind of really take the fall. And just I keep, as they're talking, just hearing him keep saying, she's going to control everything. She's going to even have my wallet. She's going to, we're going to have a joint account. It's going to be all under her control. She loves to go to Saks. It seems like he's setting her up to take the fall.
The only other way I could see this marriage going through, so assuming that the judge says no to Paris, he can't travel to Paris, we're going to have to keep tabs. She may end up doing a courthouse type wedding. I know she likes fancy.
That's what I said.
She might end up still. My point is, I'm not literally the courthouse, but she may end up marrying him if
going to the justice of the peace.
She may have committed a crime with him, because that would create spousal privilege immunity. Okay, now, and therefore she could not be called to testify against him for anything that she witnessed, but that's supposed to only apply for things that happened during the marriage. Okay. So it varies and so forth. But I also want to ask Tenderoni, great comment. Expensive jewelry or assets they can appreciate in value. Doesn't he own Rolexes? Remember, one asset we know they have is, yes, he's got a Rolex because she bought it for him. So I'm pretty sure she did not buy him a fake one. And then he, in the Carlos King interview, referenced that he bought her a Patek watch. I'm so broke, I don't know what that is. I'm not broke, but I'm so regular, I don't even know what a Patek is. But apparently, it's very expensive. It's like $100,000.
Very, it's much more expensive than a Rolex.
Yeah.
To his text messages to my husband, he has about 10 different Rolexes.
Perfect. Those need to be yours,
right?
Those need to be y'all's till y'all get your money back. Alteria, in the demand letter, I can't remember the demand letter that you drafted. Approximately, what was the approximate total of the amount owed for everyone in that demand letter seeking their money back?
Lisa, I don't know if Lisa's on. I know Lisa calculated the exact amount. Let me look really quick here, because we dropped it in our group chat. It was over $300,000. I do know that.
Okay.
I think it was 324 right around.
With everyone that I've spoken to, it's about $500,000. Yeah, it's around about $500,000. We're going to talk about solutions. So yeah, so we've got the Rolexes, we've got jewelry, anything he has purchased for her, as well as potentially the engagement ring. That needs to be first and foremost. Take it off. Hand it over. Give it her. Give it here, Jennifer.
Go ahead and get it appraised, and go ahead and sell it, child, because you don't look like y'all gonna be getting married in Paris.
Don't appraise it. Just put it in the registry of the court. Just hand it here. Hand it here. We're gonna get it here. Okay, so here's some more of this video. Remember, he's giving guarantees. It is illegal. Ponzi schemes give guarantees. Legitimate financiers or financial manager people never make guarantees because they can't fulfill them.
I'm holding myself to the standard of we're going to do at least 2% a day, because I practice discipline training.
He said 2% a day.
Yes.
I barely have losses in
That's
my own
60%
account,
a month.
This account is near and dear to me because it's not just my liquid assets that I'm dealing with. right? Hold on 1 second. I think you should be on the call. Byron, I think you should get on this call, man. We're in the middle of a Zoom.
So I
I'm not picking
will.
up the slack. All I want is to
Uh,
Uh,
chime in right here. So
uh,
Byron, I want you guys to know because I know who Byron is. Byron has nothing to do with Christian and Tolu, who I don't know if he's still on, but
uh,
Tolu actually reached out to Byron because Christian has lied to a lot of people and told
Tolu
people
is
that.
here. And Tolu, you
Uh,
can say whatever you'd like
um
when you're ready.
he reached out to Byron and Byron told him, hey, Christian doesn't have the licenses or anything to do what he's doing, but Byron is very wealthy. Byron does trade, and Byron was Christian's mentor and taught him a lot of what he knows. But Byron forewarned Tolu because Christian ran around and told lots of people that he paid Tolu his money. And people are looking at Tolu crazy. Like, how are you continuing to say this man didn't pay you your money? And Tolu's like, he didn't pay me my money.
Mm,
And like I said, Tolu's got some tea about Jen on this too. So I know he was texting in our group
okay.
that he can't hear us. So I don't know if it's something that's with his audio. Um,
Oh, yeah. Try hitting
so
refresh. Yeah, it's got to be.
let
Try
me
hitting refresh. Or, Tolu, check your settings under audio. Make sure that your output is not the same as your microphone. Sometimes that'll do it. Okay, let's keep watching.
I have 100 spots. I made a commitment
How many
to
these
say,
damn
okay,
spots?
well, I thought I had the most spots, and then Ms. Jackie came, which is actually going to be retiring in January from the federal government. It's every single day that will make someone throw up. But did I get there overnight? Did I get there from being impatient? No. I blew 11 trade accounts. I lost $250,000 last year trading, and I could have gave up. But listen, I have a group that's counting on me. I have people that I trade for. People have paid lifetime fees. I can't give up. I may have lost 250 grand, but guess how much was made in the process? A lot of people
250.
see
He loves
the
that number.
life, but they don't understand the process it took to get there. Trading is not a game. This thing I do full time, which you guys know. It took me to a point where I can wake up, get into a trade, make a few thousand, and continue on with the day.
So give people their money.
This is the reason why the joint account is super essential. There's nothing in it for me because I don't charge a fee for it. The $100 has to go towards the trade account.
Hold on.
Anytime someone sends $100, I fund up the account and it sits there. But the account's
That's a bold-faced lie. Not only
yes.
when he says I don't charge a fee, we now know he charges lifetime management fees of $2,500. And that is absolutely a fee. It sounds like what he tries to establish is he doesn't charge a commission, making y'all think that's an advantage. But the truth
Well,
of the matter,
actually, what he had said, because my husband confronted him about this, he said he himself bought 100 spots. So what he's saying is he put his own money into these project accounts, and how he's going to make money off of this is by him having spots and gaining the spots off of the collective as a whole. That's how he's
Mm-hmm.
supposedly making his money.
Mm-hmm.
got it. So what I'm explaining to you guys is what he's doing is charging what's called illegal advanced fees under the law.
Mm-hmm.
And illegal advance fees, I'm going to share this with you guys. Let's do. The SEC is really cracked down on them.
And Ontario, you did better than me because I didn't even calculate the interest that he promised me. I was like, I just
Woo.
wanted my initial
No,
amount back that
because
I
the
invested.
reason why I did that is because I was sending my demand letter when I knew there was money in the account. So if you and matter of fact, I served him at Jennifer's house
Woo!
and he received it.
So
And
she
he didn't
knows.
deny that he received it because I told him the date and the time that he signed the letter.
Wow.
So I want to give you guys this example. I'm going to read to you from the sec.gov website. which is outlining a huge program they have with advance fees. Advance fees are basically where someone comes in and says, oh, I'm just going to charge you this one-time fee to manage your money. I'm not going to charge you a commission. I'm going to give you this example, and y'all let me know if this sounds familiar to you. It says the SEC alleged that Swiss-based Malum Group and several individuals conducted a pair of advanced fee fraud schemes in which they took approximately $11 million in advance fees from U.S. investors with the promise that the fees would allow the investors to access seemingly successful trading programs. The schemes were nothing more than vehicles to steal the advanced fees. Anonymous, you gave the example. If you gave that man $1,250, thinking that that was for him to get started and trade for you, only to find out, oh no, that was just for his pocket. And then you put in $100. So he was going to charge you $1,250 to invest $100 for you. I'm going to keep going. This next paragraph. In the first scheme, Malum and his agents lured investors into joint venture agreements that purported to allow the investors, in exchange for an upfront fee, to participate with Malum in what were typically high-yield trading programs that promise astronomical investment returns. He just said 2% a day, 60% a month, compounded interest. Malcolm promised investors that after wiring significant advance fees into escrow accounts, Malum would explore the high-yield trading programs and enter into them and share most of the profits with the investors. In every case, however, Malum took the advance fees and never engaged in any trading programs. After taking the fees, Malum made various excuses for why it could not enter into any transactions and then lulled investors into not taking any action against them by regularly promising them to return the advance fees out of the proceeds of other imminent transactions.
Sounds very familiar. Very familiar.
SEC.gov.
And you know, it's funny that it says this because that brings up the Zoom that we held back in May. The reason why we held it back in May is because he said, oh, I can't pay out Project 100 or 200 now because now I have a tax attorney. And the tax attorney told me I can't pay anything out to you guys because my company has to pay your investment taxes. And I called him out. I said, that's just like selling a house. All you got to do is give us a 1099B that shows that we gave you money and that we made money and we deal with our own taxes ourselves.
Right. Straight up lies. All right. So let's hear more from his lies in this Zoom. Again, for those who are joining us, these are victims of Christian Gold sharing their stories, because we're also going to talk about solutions and what we're going to do to help get them justice in the upcoming September 6th hearing in DeKalb County, Georgia. This is a Zoom. Here we go.
Because
this is where he is basically trying to encourage people to invest more money with him, people who've already invested. He's trying to tell you to give him more money, and he's promising returns.
we're this close to starting the account. Like this close. We're not 750 spots away. We're 117 spots away from starting the joint account. It's very important. Family, we got this far. If we were halfway, I'd probably say, you know what? Everyone can just get their refund back. We're literally right
Give them their money.
$100. I want you to look at your finances, right? If you can't do it, you just can't do it. I get it. It's not me forcing you to do it. I'm just talking about the importance and the severity of why this account is super, super lucrative. Listen, if you came and got 20, 30 spots, this message is not for you. The people, if you have anywhere from 2 to 3%, let's do some math real quick.
Listen to this, y'all.
If you have anything from 2 to 3%, Cameron, my executive dropped some numbers on the last call, and we are projected to do 225 million. A lot of people will say, oh, there's not a possibility for you to do that. Well, if you're talking about compounding percent, right? 3%. We're not going to go crazy and say 10% a day because that is not going to happen. That's like If someone tells you they're making 10% in the markets, that means they're making like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos money. It's just not, it's not realistic. 3% is something that I've been able to do on the low end, on a bad day. If you have
You
2%
cannot
in the
legally
account, which is 20
guarantee
spots, that means
nothing.
you have a $2,000 investment in the account, 2%. Let's do 225 million times 0.02. That's $1.125 million in your payout.
And this is exactly what he was basically telling all of us. We were going to
that's
be
wrong.
millionaires
I'm like,
this
why is that
Just
so
time.
fine. Hold
low?
on. Listen.
Sorry, 4.5 million. I was like, why is that so low?
Each.
4.5 million, and you invested $2,000. 4.5 million, $2,000. 3% of 225 million. This is just on the top end. 6.7 million. Let's go to a guy that's super special to me. We talk almost every day. Daryl Mitchell. I think Daryl Mitchell's on the call. Daryl got 70 spots.
Daryl, if you didn't get paid, call us,
You're going to
Daryl.
be one of the wealthiest people in this group. Do you know why Daryl's going to be one of the wealthiest people in this group? Because he did exactly what I did.
I just want to establish, y'all, in summary, he is telling these people that if they invested $2,000, they would have 4.25 million in some months. I think that was
Yep.
8 or 9 months.
Yep.
Yeah, and I wasn't on this call, but he would post stuff in the Telegram group, and unfortunately, he only gives you view access whenever he would post stuff in the Telegram group. You're not able to type anything
Yeah,
or
you
So
can't.
send any type
So
of
in his
message.
Telegram group, you cannot screen record, you cannot
why was that?
screenshot, you cannot see the other members' names in the group,
You
you
surely
Was
cannot
that
can.
read
a red flag for
prompts,
y'all?
you cannot
It
read.
was for me.
He said it was for privacy reasons because he had a lot of people who didn't want other people to know their financial situations.
But they don't have to show their name. At the end of the day, if you can do a Zoom where, you know, the only thing on this people will have is what's on the screen, and or people can put anonymous names. But the fact that you can't go, or it could just be a video where only his screen is what's shared. But the fact that you can't see him go back and basically you can't go back to confirm what he's been telling you is real freaking suspect.
This is why I went in there and I pulled every video that was like this. I had my husband's phone. I have 6 kids. I have access to another phone. I'll record from another phone
Good
what you're
job.
saying. And so I grabbed somebody else's phone and I started recording this stuff. But yeah, so in the Zoom that he held with us in May, he told us the person that owned the majority of this account, which he says right here is Daryl Mitchell. He wouldn't
Mhm.
tell us his name, but he said the person that owned the majority of this account, he paid out back in May. He told us this. And I recorded him. Now, I sound horrible because I was actually very, very, very sick in this Zoom. But I spoke up almost for everybody because I was like, you're full of shit. And my husband said the same thing. You are a liar. And we want our
You
money
did not.
now.
No, Alteria, not in this one. You're talking about a different Zoom?
It's a different Zoom. Yeah, I did
Gotcha.
upload it into our file.
Oh yeah, no. Oh no, this
It's
one
an
is a
hour
favorite
and
for a
a half
reason.
long, I think it was, but it's a long one. But
Okay.
he also in that Zoom promised everybody that was on that spoke up in the end that said, "Hey, I want my money." He said you
Uh-huh.
will have it by June 1st. That was in
This
I think
year. This June.
this year. Yes.
All right. Well, I want you guys to listen. We're going to listen without interruption for this. It's going to be 3 minutes max without interruption. But there's going to be a key part in here. You'll know when we're there. Everybody have your volumes up. Anybody watching? Somebody said, go to jail. Go straight to jail. Do not accept $200. Just go to jail. Hold on. Here we go.
Once we finish this challenge. Once we finish this collective joint account, guess what we do? You guys get $100,000 payout, $250,000 payout, right? We're going to move it up to 5,000 spots next year. That's pennies to what you're going to make in your payout. Pennies. All we do is we wash and repeat. See, when I first started this thing, right, and it's crazy because my mom's husband, my stepdad, gave me the idea. He said, Christian, yes, you have account management. Yes, you have trade signals. Right? You do challenges.
Keep
you
listening.
do trading mastery. But what if you did a joint collective where everyone gets a percent, just like they're buying a stock in a company, and every single year they get a payout based on their percent of the overall account?
Come on. Ponzi scheme, yes.
Altera, can you unmute your mic real quick? I understand I need to call you too. We need to talk. But Altera, can you unmute your mic? And I want you to give your experience on your husband's account that is doing account management with me really quick.
So this is what he does. This is what he does, y'all. This is how he gets other people to invest through his scheme. He helps somebody make a small, tiny gain so that they will invest a ton more. Here we go.
Tobias is on. Tobias deposited. He made a few deposits. His first deposit was like $2,000. Then he did it like another $2,000. I was able to get that account to.
Oh, so it was
4,000,
4,000, not 3,000.
You're right.
That account to $13,000 just doing account management. Tobias was able to pull the $13,000 and take his wife on vacation in minutes.
That's you.
Yep.
How does it feel? So y'all, what he was just saying is he's using her example of the small win he gave them at the very, very beginning. That was only what, 3,000 that you invested with him?
4,000.
Hold on.
Pulled out.
Wait.
It was
nope.
4.
No.
He said 2 and 2.
Pause. Altera, you got to let me pause. I know you're excited. I want to make sure everybody understands. It was 4,000. Of that, he took $2,500 in a fee. Am I correct?
No.
He took a fee.
No.
Okay.
No. So 4,000 was funded into the account. The fee we paid him was 1,500. So 5,500 altogether. Yes.
Somebody do that math.
Altogether.
Somebody do that math. So on a $4,000 investment, he makes $1,500. In the chat, y'all do that. Okay. But she then made a total of 13,000, right?
Yep.
So she was happy. He still made a freaking killing because on the 4,000, he made 1,500. Again, I just want to be clear, this was a year ago, last September. And Carmen, you were on this call. Carmen was on this call. And yeah, I think she's not on at the moment. She just pulled up, but you spoke with her earlier. Carmen was the one that initially gave her. That's why I started with Carmen. She gave the example of her giving her entire Social Security disability settlement check to Christian, and then was wooed by your example.
Yep.
And this is why it is imperative. Say that again.
And I said, and that's why I'm pissed, because he used me.
Absolutely, without you knowing. And that's my point. Yeah. This is why the victims must communicate together. Yes.
Simone?
Yes.
So this is Marty, Carmen's friend. And yes, I know she must have fell off, but
I see her now.
But okay, yes. When she had explained everything that was happening to me, and I kept saying, no, you need to stop this. Yes, she did give me examples of where she had said there were Zoom calls, Jennifer was in them, other people were in them. I'm not sure if Ontario was one, but she said there were people who had gave some videos of like testimony where they had said they had made money. And that was one thing. And then obviously him being on Basketball Wives, which I think was the biggest thing, is what made her feel comfortable in giving all that money.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. Let me do that math real quick. So that was 1,500 over 4,000. Hold on. He made like 40%. Yeah, he made like 40% commission on that. That's out of this world. But so many people have asked me, what liability could Basketball Wives have on this? And I've been thinking about this.
I've wondered that too, because I've also wrote the producer of Basketball Wives.
Good.
And I say I have gone through lengths People should know who I am.
Mhm. So what I think is I think this. So I think they don't the issue is in order for there to be some type of liability, you have to have a duty. The challenge is for what you guys have discussed, what we've discussed so far in this video, they didn't have a duty to you as a viewer. But I'm a very creative lawyer. I tried to have a creative way to get to the solution. And thinking creatively about this problem, my thought is this: when a duty arises once you become aware of an issue. So therefore, now that you guys are going to the authorities and you're making your complaints, etc., we'll talk more about that. What now that that's happening, I recommend that you do notify the legal departments of MTV and BET, which is where it is produced, and I would do so with a demand letter that says this his scam that was perpetrated on your national television show is being investigated by the FBI, because it is. I'm not exaggerating, because it is, one. And as a result, we are requesting that any amounts he owes X amount to me, and we're requesting that any amounts that are due to him, rather than releasing this amount to him during the pendency of this investigation, you deposit it into the registry of the court or some other trust account. They can choose to do that or not. They do not have a legal obligation at this point to do so. However, there are a number of entities where once they know that there's like a lien or like a interest like that, they would rather just deposit the check into the registry of the court and let the court decide who that money should go to than risk being part of a lawsuit where you're effectively trying to seize his next paycheck or Jen's next paycheck. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
Tolu can now hear us. This is
Tolu.
exciting.
Oh, honey, we need to hear from you. Yes, Tolu. Okay. So when you get a chance, we can't hear your words yet. Make sure you're not on mute, but check your audio setting to see what it's listing as your audio. You don't want it to be your mic. Oh, do I hear you, Tolu? All right. We'll hop in when you're ready, Tolu. But continuing to just kind of describe that, I think that somebody said Tolu in WhatsApp is always a scam. I think that, yes, one of your best bets, because here's the thing. This wedding, Jen discussed in the Carlos King interview that she owns a production company, and she has for many years. She didn't just start the production company, for the wedding. So I want to be clear on that. But it's rumored and alleged, and would make perfect sense, that she's likely seeking to sell her wedding special. Just like
I believe they are. I think they are.
So as a result, all of this, including his ability to get over there to Paris, is critical. But that's also a bunch of money that's coming in. And here's the thing. I believe that they spent a bunch of money to make this look grandiose for TV, with the expectation that whatever they were going to get paid when they sold the television special would be more than worth it. And I would not be surprised if they used your investments to pay to do all of this. The lifestyle, the production, the videoing. Because remember, they had to go over there to shop around for the venues, to do all of those things. So it would not surprise me that part of the urgency and why they want this, the judges now, getting ready to determine whether or not he's going to issue this man his travel pass, is in part dependent on and the fact that they want to make, hundreds of thousands from this TV special. Someone said, why
Simone,
did they? Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say something. I do think, and obviously you are the lawyer, but I do think that Jennifer and MTV, VH1, whoever, should be held accountable, because in Carmen and on Anonymous, and I'm sure there are a lot of other people, yes, they don't necessarily have a right, but they have a pretty much a public platform where nobody else would have even known who this Christian Gold was had they not allowed him. Jennifer brought him on TV and said that he was an investor. Most people don't think, oh, he's a con artist investor, or he is yes, he is a felon, but people who don't really know about trading and so forth. And that is how, Carmen and a lot of people were mesmerized. And they provided that platform for him to, con everybody. And that's why people went to his Instagram and invested, because they provided that. Other than that, nobody even knew who the hell he was.
Agreed.
There's
Now
a
here's my
lady,
thought.
even as of 2 days ago, that commented on Christian's Telegram asking how to invest. 2 days ago.
There we go. Now, I love a good conspiracy theory. Here's my thought. I wonder if perhaps the network intentionally aired the episode where Vanessa did the background check on him and shared that information and made sure that that made the air in order to isolate themselves and limit their liability. What do you think?
That could be.
To be able to say, oh, well, we warned you guys. We put enough out there where you could have, known about this. But here's the thing. That's not true. The only thing that was discussed was a DV situation. There was never any discussion of the Ponzi scheme. And to be fair, I discovered it on air. I think it was July 25th or so when I did my first video. It was literally once I realized he was lying about the restitution, but yet these websites talked about him earning so much money. I literally wanted to just know, okay, well, what do you do? I know you're a felon, so I know certain options are limited. And I look at this website and I'm like, oh no, this is a Ponzi scheme, because he states on there he's guaranteeing 2 to 5%, etc., etc. So let's talk about why I still have you guys. Let's talk about solutions and what we're gonna do to get y'all this money. Y'all ready? Anybody on mute? Feel free to unmute yourself. I think my computer's lagging. Oh, interesting. Someone is saying, Simone, the network allowed the other Jen Shaw to commit crimes and they knew it. That's a great point. Wanda Young is asking, can this be reported to his probation officer? Yes. So let's start there. So to recap on where his case is at, is right now what's going on is there's a warrant for his arrest for probation violation for leaving the state without permission. On the 20th, he filed a motion. His attorney filed a motion either seeking to let him get off of probation a year early or to grant him a travel pass to his wedding. One of the key statements in there that pissed me off, let me pull it back up, was he talked about being a great person. There we go. He talks about being a great person and being a business owner. Well, let's discuss this business ownership of his. I'm going to put it right back up. Here we go. This was it. So we are discussing part of the strategy that I would recommend if this was me. So again, I'm not their lawyer. This is not creating a attorney-client relationship just simply by me giving this advice. But what I'm saying is, so what I'm your legal bestie. And if I was at brunch with my girls and my girl told me she was going through this is what I would tell her. He got this little sentence up in here where he says, this is the motion where he's seeking a travel pass to go to his wedding. Mind you, the wedding is September 14th. He has a hearing on this September 6th, meaning on September 6th, the judge is going to consider all evidence out there to decide, are you going to let this man go spend these people money in Paris, or is the law going to make him sit his butt down? We want to gather statements from each of you. I've stated what I'm willing to offer is that for this limited purpose, I can't be your lawyer in litigation. I ain't got the time. I'm not in Georgia, etc. I'm not even licensed in Georgia. But what I can do is draft a letter simply informing the probation officer and the court. So I would send it to the probation officer and I would file it with the court stating that I represent for this limited purpose the following victims who have lost the following sums of money in the attached sheet. We'll do a spreadsheet and state that we are requesting that the travel pass be denied for fear that he will flee the country and not return and not return with these scammed funds, because he has no incentive to return with all y'all on his neck. You guys are just one group. The only reason these people are together is because Alteria um, recommended that these other people also invest. So this call today is just the friends of Alteria.
And it's not even all of them. A lot of them are at work. A lot of them
Yep.
are, they're at church. Yeah, it's there at one point in his Telegram group, because I went back and I started looking at stuff the other night. There was 445 people in the Telegram group. To this day,
Wow.
there's now 189.
Oh wow. When I looked at it a couple of weeks ago, it was 228.
Now it's 189. And I feel
Wow.
like the people that are jumping ship are the people that are related to him.
All
That's
right,
who
good
I think
question.
are getting out of the group.
JLex. Oh, I believe so. JLex is saying, Simone, the lady on your live, why would she give him 4,000 higher than the minimum 2K when she already suspected his business dealing was not right? Here's the thing. So that's a part of the scam is the minimum is 25. He says the minimum is 2,500, but that only goes into his pocket. If
Yeah,
you give
that's
him
only
25,
for
hold
him
on,
to
let me do it.
trade.
Let me do it. Hold on. I promise I'll let you add in, but it's a little confusing. So the $2,500 is, he calls it lifetime management fee, but that only goes into his pocket. Not a dollar of that is traded. If you want a dollar traded, you got to give him $2,500 $1. So she's saying she gave him 4,000 because that's the amount you want invested, plus the 2,500, because the 2,500 is the required fee. Or I'm getting my numbers off, but whatever the required.
At the time when we did
Thank
it, it
you.
was 1,500. It wasn't
1,500.
25.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, what it is, and that's part of why advanced fees are a scam, because people believe that they're giving you this amount and it's going to cover both fees and some form of an investment, and
And
it's not.
I do want to correct her, because
Okay.
from the $4,000, I did get a kickback. And that's what I said in the Zoom. And that's why I'm pissed, because he used me to tell everybody, hey, she made $12,000 off of 4 grand. You need to invest. This is why she's telling her story, because she's proof that she touched the money. Yes, I did touch the $12,000. After
Yes.
that, he got over 18,000 additional, and I never saw a dime.
Absolutely. So there are new people that joined, and I realized I had not added you guys to the stage. You are now here. So if Tolu, if you're still here, now you should be able to talk if you were not before.
I'm
Anybody who's
here.
on the okay.
Hey, Tolu!
Please, so
Yes.
sorry about the technical difficulty.
No problem. We want to hear, you are the one victim on this call who actually spoke with Jennifer. Tell us about it.
Yes, first I want to say thank you, Simone, for giving us this opportunity to share our story. Also, thank you to Altera and Tobias for, leading this fight. Unfortunately, my name is Tolualualu, y'all, and I became a victim of this scam involving Christian Gold, or Christian LaSalle Walden, who defrauded me as well of a few $1,000s. And after realizing what had happened, I tried to contact him for a refund. We had gotten into it, one, I want to say early this year, or towards the tail end of last year. So I began to message him and call him, and I requested for a refund. And he avoided all of my calls. He ignored every call, every text message, every way possible I could get a hold of him. He ignored me. And at one point, I started blowing up his phone. And I know what Jennifer sounds like. I watched the Basketball Wives, and Jennifer answers the phone. I guess they were tired of me blowing up the phone. And so she gets on the phone and she's like, you got the wrong number. And I was like, no, I don't. This is Christian's phone number. This is how we've been contacting. And she hangs up on me. That
Mm.
same day, I get a phone call back from that same number, and it was Christian.
Girl.
Yes.
Girl.
Yeah.
That's
And
why I say she knows.
uh-huh. And Christian calls me back and was like, hey, "Hey, bro, I heard you called, and and I said, yeah, but why did your girlfriend get on the phone talking about I called the wrong phone number and hung up on me?" And he was like, "Oh no, you probably dialed the wrong number." I said, "No, this is the number that I have on my dialogue, and this is the number I called. I have only your number is saved into my phone." And he was like, "Okay, well, what did you call about?" I said, "I need my refund." And I also been told that you've been telling all of my business partners and people that we are mutually friends with that you refunded me my whole initial investment. Why are you lying to people?" And he's like, "Oh, I told them that because I was going to refund your money. But listen," and y'all already heard him on Zoom. He has a really
Yep.
smooth mouth. And so,
Yep.
he got a gift of gab.
Silver
And
tongue
so,
bastard.
right. And so he was like, he basically got me but to leave my investment there because he's like, "Trust me, I'm going to make you a millionaire."
Trust
And
me.
of course I bought into it after he like spoke and basically bought me back into leaving my refund. And I said, "Okay, well, the only thing I'm upset about is you telling people lies. You're telling my business partners that used to be your business partners, you're telling people that we're mutually friends with that you gave me my money. You never gave me my money. So you're slandering me." And he was like, "No, no." He was like, "I was going to give you a refund, but I actually want to show you that you can trust me, brother, and that I'm going to
Ponzi
make you a
scheme.
million."
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
y'all, just to recap, the way Ponzi scheme works is they give you, they have you invest in them, and then they show you returns initially to gain your trust, so that you'll make a much, much larger investment. Then they take that money, and instead of actually using it for what they said, which is growing it through the financial markets, they spend it on whatever the freak they want. That is what Bernie Madoff did, and that is what caused the downfall of the stock market, etc. And it's no joke. So I want to make sure we're talking solutions here. Let me make sure I have. Oops. And I want to make sure that everyone on this call, if you have not already, you are going to want to bring your little sales. Let's see. Here's the. Make sure I have
My
it
thing is
here.
this for those individuals that, for the victims who are reluctant to step up and say anything, listen, you have tons of people on this call right now that don't
Yeah.
give a damn about being looking stupid or feeling shameful about being swindled and lied to. If you want your money back, then you gotta step up. You
And
gotta
I
step
think
up
I
and
Absolutely.
think
speak out.
Lisa I think Lisa hopped off for a second, but I will say
Here,
I
let me add
know.
it. She's here. There we
No,
go.
I'm on here.
Oh, okay. I
Hi.
know I know Lisa specifically asked about contracts. She asked about licensing and he lied and told her that he was.
Yeah, he
What do
did.
you mean?
Mhm.
Ask me. Tell me about that. What do you mean when you're referring to contracts and licensing?
Um, like, because I do know that when you're trading money, you do have to be licensed, like license and bond for that.
Yeah.
So I do know that. So in the very beginning, because I have done something similar to this,
Okay.
in the right way. So I trust that he was the same. So when I did ask him about license and bond, and he was like, "Oh, my lawyer is going to get all that information to everybody." He said, far as contracts, though, he said anything that we do put in text messages is considered a contract. But he said the
Oh.
only contract
Oh
that
no.
we'll be doing is for the payout, and you would have to sign something to get your money out. And he said the lawyers was drawing up all that stuff.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Did we lose her?
I don't know if we did or not. Maybe she stepped away.
Well,
I see
I
she
want I
stepped
wanted to also
back.
add this too. This is Carmen. So this year, while I'm still, waiting for my payout, he had the audacity to send me a text asking me if I would do a 1 minute testimonial about my
Oh, he
experience.
did not.
Yeah. And I'm like, what? I haven't even seen a return on my investment yet.
Yeah, why would he ask you that?
For the
That's
same
just
reason, for the same reason he made you the poster child for other people to join the group.
So he's trying to recruit more victims.
Hmm.
No type of shame, no conviction or anything
Nothing.
on
And
his
then you got
part.
the nerve to tell Carlos that they called you blessed in prison. Well, nigga, when we get through with your ass, they gonna call you crucifixion because we plan on nailing your ass to the wall, bitch. Excuse
Yeah.
me.
No.
Excuse me for the profanity.
No, you have every
Instead of
right.
Christian, it's gonna be crucifixion.
And with you, Carmen, like you being on disability and going through all those tough situations, Lisa gave him about 20 grand herself. She's
Mm-hmm.
had to get three jobs.
Mm.
She's had issues in her marriage because she never even told her husband that she did this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. And
Yep.
Corman, I'm so sorry you're going through that. And I'm not receiving disability, but I told him that I wasn't working at the moment because I have chronic health issues that I'm dealing with. And he had no problem asking for more money every time he
Mm-mm.
sent me the alleged
Not at
account
all.
balance.
No.
Oh, you
And
can
then
always
this
pull
nigga
in
want to
more
sit
if
up
you
and
invest
put
more. That's what he always
God
said.
is love and love is love. Shut your ass up.
And I
Shit.
save
Also, I just want
marriages.
to I just want
And
to also say this is Marty Carmen's friend that because there was one part that she didn't leave out, which I do feel Christians should be exposed for. When she left the volatile situation she was in, she moved out to a different location where obviously we all know we have to pay rent because she was expecting that payout. That was supposed to be her rent money. When she spoke with Christian and explained that to him, he kept guaranteeing, "Oh, you'll get the May payout." So as she moved to the new location, she did not have all the money for rent, and she's disabled. She cannot walk. She was literally calling him every day, saying, "I need these funds. I need these funds." And the only reason she was able to stay in the
Guys,
location she
so
was
sorry. Keep
is by
going.
God.
Yeah.
yeah,
See, but
and
that's the thing about
that's what
him.
I
He is really quick
for.
to accept money and he will respond to you within the quickness. But as soon
When
as
you
you go
want
to
to
ask
deposit money.
any type of
Mm-hmm.
questions regarding your funds, he will ghost you and not respond to any of it and make up all the lies that he needs to. Well, I'm busy and I'm doing all this traveling and whatever bullshit reason
Mm-hmm.
he has,
Yep.
you
See,
know.
And
and
I have incriminating text messages to prove that his lying ass was out the country in June.
oh, I
Oh
That's the
yeah,
do.
lie
me
he
I
too.
told.
do.
That's the lie
I
he
Yep.
do
Me
told his
too.
too. Me too.
And
Yep.
probation
and
officer. So she can
he
throw the
told
book in his
someone in
ass.
my message that their wedding wasn't 250,000. He told them it was 2 million. I've got that text
Oh,
Well,
and
that the wedding
okay,
was
he
$2
got
maybe,
one
million.
million
that's
of it.
even more helpful. That's even more helpful. So here's the thing. So let's talk about this. You guys are in a uniquely good position. I know it all sounds like crap and it sounds terrible because it is. But here's the thing. When someone is on probation, that is one time when the judge is able to consider what is called uncharged offenses. So the best example, and I'm saying this is true for probation or parole. The best example is if someone's on parole, any interaction with the police could cause a parole violation, right? Meaning someone could just let's say they witnessed a fight and everyone, uh, a fight and then they hop in the car and they drive off. Everyone in that car gets arrested. The probation officer, the parole officer, choose to make that a violation. So, what I'm saying in your situation is that usually a judge or a judge will only consider crimes that are charged. What you guys are alleging has not been charged. But what that means is you can still present it to the probation officer. Taylor Williams is her name, and I do have the phone number for that department, etc. What I would, as I mentioned before, what I would be willing to do is if we could combine your complaints together, I would present them as one. Here is why. Whether when you are dealing with a government official, they are overworked and underpaid.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
I
I
am
used to be
concerned,
one.
right? I'm concerned that if each of you individually call, she's going to be like, oh, this is too much. I don't have time to hear each of your stories. This is too much. And nothing might happen. But
Mhm.
if we combine it all and make one submission where we're basically one submission that says, hey, this is what's going on, they may be willing to look at this particularly as evidence of why he should not be allowed to leave the country. Because what he is asking for is he is saying, and before I got disconnected, I'm so sorry, my battery My laptop died out on me. But what it was saying, what he specifically was saying, is that he should be granted the travel pass because he is a successful business owner and a good person, and he has paid his $12,500 restitution. My position is the business owner part. Oh, see, now that you have cited you are a business owner, we have some of your clients that want to speak and say otherwise. They want to say, hey, our concern is if you let this man leave, he has no incentive to come back anytime soon. He could
That's
leave. Y'all
true.
have a limited statute of limitations. He could leave this country and not come back in 5 years, and y'all don't get a thing. Because y'all are a small smidgen. I believe, based on the evidence I have reviewed to date, that the amount of money that has been scammed is likely in the millions. At least
I
Hmm.
believe that too.
I
Me
believe it.
too.
Yeah.
I believe
yes.
that.
Yes, because in the document, Simone, he does in the probation, the warrant for the probation, him violating his probation, doesn't it mention that he has a company, but it
Yes,
doesn't say
It
the
does.
name.
it
But
does.
It
and this
does.
is the how
Yes.
this is what I feel. The company is the Ponzi scheme. The
Yeah.
company is the illegal
Yep.
Exactly.
gambling.
Hmm.
Yep. Mhm.
Exactly.
And that's why I added Cameron Rose to that, since he's the executive,
And
uh, business partner.
Cameron
So
Rose is actually on our demand letter
Yep.
because
Hmm.
in the Zoom that we held back in May, he told everybody, you guys are going to get your money in September. But
Mhm.
because I'm going to be in Paris, Cameron Rose is going to be the one to issue it to you. Who the fuck is Cameron Rose? That's what
you
I
can't
want
do
to
that.
The
know.
business
You can't
partner,
do that at all.
No.
He
You
ain't a
can't do that.
business partner because if you go to
according to him.
Any
He's
of
not even
Cameron Rose's,
licensed. It would be one
Cameron,
thing if he's transferring it from him, the unlicensed person, to a licensed person and who was insured. I don't think anybody would have a problem with that. But you giving it to your homeboy, F your homeboy and you.
Nope. And I told him I do not agree upon that.
That's right.
I do not want
It
no
was
one to handle it but you because I agreed with you. We
correct.
had the terms together, not him. And you're just adding him in at the end. Like, who is he?
Because they ain't on it together.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The
yep.
other thing too is okay. So Latoria made a comment I want to make sure I address. It says, "You keep him on parole. How will that help the victims?" Well, it helps the victims because if you create something that has to be done to get off, then he has to do that to get off. And you saw on the show he wanted to get off of parole, right? So, for example, that restitution would have never gotten paid if it wasn't an obstacle to him flying away to the wedding. But because it was an inconvenience, he took care of it. Here, at this point, I'm not saying put him back in jail. I'm not saying that. I don't have enough facts. I'm not there. Because I do believe going to jail does not help the victims. But
No, it doesn't.
continuing to be on probation, it does, because one, we know where he is. We know is so that when it's time for him to get charged, which will be coming, they know how to go and get him. Second of all, you're more likely to be able to negotiate with someone who wants to get off papers, whether it's a payment plan or anything else, than with someone who's just out here enjoying their best life.
Mm-hmm.
um yeah, somebody said I hope she gets a prenup. But also, so what I want to be clear about is, in order for me to help, this is what I ask of you, because of course I only want to help people who are actual valid victims. So the FBI has a complaint form. I'm going to drop it in the description below. This offer applies to anyone, even those who are not on this call today. um and the offer is that I am willing to assist you if you complete the FBI complaint form, which is outlining, this is for like the crimes such as what you guys are going through. And you're going to say what happened to you, what you invested, etc. And if you submit that and you provide me with a copy, I feel comfortable submitting that to the judge. And here's why: is because when you submit that complaint, you are submitting it basically under penalty of perjury, meaning you are attesting, hey, Your Honor, if I had to say this in court, I feel comfortable saying it in court, and it is the truth. Because it's a crime to lie to the feds. And I don't think any of you guys would be lying in whatever you're submitting. And so, therefore, if
Mhm.
you submit that, it also will help me. The letter is going to say, part of the reason that we believe that the travel pass should be denied is because he is a flight risk. There is an impending investigation by the FBI into potential financial crimes. And, Your Honor, here are complaints from multiple victims outlining what appears to be a course of operation and a Ponzi scheme. How do you
Now,
guys feel about
Simone,
that?
I have a question just because
Sure.
I know with I think it was Tolu, Lisa, and I when we started going down this rabbit hole a couple of months ago, the first place I filed was SEC. Then I went to FINRA. They both emailed me back and said, "Thank you. FINRA, number one, won't touch him because he's not registered with FINRA as a registered licensed broker. So
That makes sense.
he has no number. So they can't reprimand him. And what they said in the email is we can't reprimand him, but
Okay,
what
so
we
what's the next
did
one then? So yeah, I'm fine with that. So what about the others?
so what they told me was, "Hey, because we can't help you, what we did is we took your complaint and we forwarded it to the FBI." So
Great.
and then they handed and then they put the link in the email in case I needed it. So
Wonderful.
my question to you is, because they forwarded it to the FBI on my behalf, should I go on the link again and file one directly from me?
Absolutely. You don't trust this
Okay.
government of ours.
Okay.
Again,
I
what
know
did I
that's
say
right.
about government employees? They are overworked and
And
underpaid.
underpaid.
So they very
Underpaid.
Okay.
well
Yeah.
might do that. But do you have a claim number? Do you have a case number? Do you have any of that? No. And neither do
Now
they.
with FINRA and SEC, I do have reference numbers and case numbers.
But you don't have one for the FBI.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is when you call the FBI to say, what is the status of my complaint? They are going to say there, I don't have, what are you, send me, give me your case number, this, that, and the third. And if you
Okay.
all you have to say is, well, they said they would send it to you, we already know how that's going to work in a bureaucracy. So what I would do, cut and paste, which you've already submitted to the others, just cut and paste it on that complaint. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah,
And I did send you my complaint form, Simone.
excellent.
If you,
So we
okay.
got that. And again, I'm going to send this both to the judge and the probation officer. So she can choose to call you guys individually, or my guess is this. What I anticipate is more likely she would take that evidence and use that to go towards. So there are different, what they call it, prongs. Basically, there are different factors that go into consideration of whether or not you get a travel pass. He pretty much fails all the factors that are already there. But one of the main ones is this person a flight risk? And when it's known that these people together have about over $300,000 worth of monies that they are seeking against him and or seeking, have federal complaints pending, you're a flight risk. You are a flight risk because that money, he takes that money over to Turkey, he takes that money over a variety of countries. He can live real nice, real flash. I could see him right now over there in Dubai,
My
stunting on
question
the
is, where's Jennifer gonna be in all this? Is she gonna be over there with us,
probably.
or is
She'll come back to
or?
film,
Okay.
play dumb, and then go on back.
Yeah. I
So
don't believe
If
Jennifer will
she know,
come back.
like I know, he got so much heat up against him right now. She might want to just postpone that wedding
And
because she
and
gonna
he
end up
he
being
is
collateral damage.
I will tell you guys he is scared because my
Good.
husband
He should
last
be.
week because I just watched Simone's video maybe 48 hours ago and reached out
mm,
to her immediately. And I found Simone by watching the Carlos King. And somebody had sent me the Carlos King and I was like, "Whoa." But what he had sent to my husband, because, oh, hold on, guys. What you guys don't know is we have a signed, legalized, notarized promise to pay from Christian Gold for Project 200. Okay.
Mm.
He was supposed to give us our money last week. He did not. My husband kept texting him. And there is a text message from Christian, and it's hilarious because my husband says, "Where's my money? How are you going to send it?" It says, "Urgent, can't talk." Next message says, "Very, very urgent, cannot talk. I will message you again. Very, very urgent." And that was the last time we heard from him. So he's scared.
He should be.
as he should be.
I would be.
Someone saying,
Should
is scamming in this capacity a parole violation? Yeah,
yes.
scamming is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The challenge is that when you're dealing with financial crimes like this, it's not as simple as somebody, popped you upside your head, right? That's very clear. That's assault. When it comes to financial crimes and you're dealing with day trading, these things are complex. So at first glance, it may not be clear what the offense would be. That's why I directed y'all to the FBI and the SEC, etc. Because one, it helps them understand that, hey, it's under this realm. But two, it will allow the probation officer to pick up the phone to somebody over at the FBI and say, hey, I got 4 or 5, I've got 10. At this point, it's like 10, 15 people that have got these complaints saying that X, Y, and Z happened. Does that sound like a crime to you? And then that person be like, hell yeah, it sounds like a Ponzi scheme. And they can make a determination from there. Because, yes, so the answer is a parole violation is any committing of a crime, and you don't have to wait for someone to actually be charged with it. But if someone has not been charged, it's more likely that they could continue to get away with it, would be the gist. And here, let's talk about potentially what the crimes could be. All right. It would be a Ponzi scheme for sure. It would be practicing certain types of trading without a license, particularly the ones where he's making the guarantees. I had put it up on the screen previously, but I didn't get a chance. Interestingly, Lisa made the comments about how you had questions about his license and stuff like that. The amended contract he's just sent everyone, page 1, he literally addresses the concerns that I had in my first video.
Yep.
States up front, I am not licensed and da-da-da. I do not have insurance. I am not insured. And he says, for the first time, I'm not making any guarantees. Well, that's funny because we just saw Zoom clips of you doing just that.
We didn't
Mm-hmm.
even get to the part where he said if we didn't make $100,000 by this time next year, we could call him a scammer.
Oh, yes, we didn't. Yes, because my laptop went down. He absolutely did. So that means we get to call him a scammer, y'all. Everybody call him a scammer.
You can just post it on YouTube for the
Yes.
whole world to see, Simone.
Yeah, yeah.
I even have a text message where he says if you invest like 5,000, it will bring you 11 million and something returns.
Yes,
And just, like I had bought a lot of spots in a lot of these different projects. And the
me
most
too.
spots I bought was in Project 2000, which
Didn't
was
you buy like
150
100?
spots.
Oh,
I'm
and did
like, one of
anybody else
the
invest
top
in the
person that
lifetime?
150 spots. How much is each spot?
$100.
it's
$100.
$100.
Okay.
Did anybody invest in the lifetime quarterly dividends project?
Joe, who's on here, is in the quarterly
Because I
dividends.
know it's 17 of us that's in that private
Joe,
group.
Joe, that's in on here right now is in the quarterly dividends.
And
Yeah, I didn't invest
the
in that.
minimum to get into that was $1,000, and you're locked in for life, according to Lie a Lot.
And that you could pull out your money every 3 months.
Every three
No
months.
questions asked. I didn't
And
get into it because that's when my spidey senses started feeling. So I
Yes,
said, I'm
me
not giving
too.
him no more money.
I couldn't quite understand. I got confused because after he stated that the tax attorney stated that we couldn't get multiple payouts a year, then he
Hold on,
comes around
wait.
saying
Did you hear that out of the tax attorney's mouth, or was
No,
he
no,
no,
telling you
no.
that's
out
what
of
From
him,
him.
That's
from
why we
him.
held a Zoom back in May
I
because
sure wish I could
we
have been in on
asked
that
him.
Zoom.
Oh, he wouldn't let us. We asked, and Tolu could tell you, Lisa could tell you, because they were all on the Zoom. We told Christian, get on a Zoom with everybody that's in your group. He said,
Yep.
no, Altera, I'm only going to do the people connected to you
ooh,
because
someone makes a
your
great point.
people, and he said, because your people, and I have a text message, I think I uploaded it in my file.
Hit that like
He
button,
said,
guys.
he said, your people seem to be the only people having a problem with this.
That's a
Everybody
damn
else
lie.
in this group, everybody else in this group understands what investing is and that
Yep.
they understand that you could lose money or gain money.
Hmm.
I
Wow. Did
told him the
anyone
exact
invest in
same thing,
Bitcoin?
Altera. I told him to hold a Zoom call when he lied to us all about the market crashing and that our all of the joint accounts took a big hit. And I told him, I said, well, can you do a Zoom call just to check to see where everyone's head is? I said, because like me, this is a lot to digest. And he said, well, everyone has reached out to me individually, and that's
No,
the
what
best
he
way to
did
handle
is
this
he sent a
situation.
text message out to everybody and then he silenced his phone. That's what he
Uh-huh.
did.
He always
Yep.
does that. He
Mhm.
always does it. But I did ask
Yeah.
him, if he could do a Zoom call when he lied and said that all of the joint accounts took a big hit when the market crashed.
Yeah.
And prior to that, um, I had asked him when he was ghosting me while he was claiming he was busting his ass to make sure all of us got a return on our investment. He was like, "Well, I'm over here busting my ass," and I'm like, "Well, while you over there busting your ass, I'm out here getting put out on my ass." You
Yes.
know,
So someone has asked me, have I pulled his tax return? The answer to that is no. You can't pull someone else's tax returns without a court order, and even then, the court has to force them to sign a paperwork. So I don't have that. But someone else made a comment about the fact that it seems that he doesn't have male investors. Now we've got one gentleman on the call. I wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about your experience and whether or not you know of other men who also invested. With Alteria, your husband also clearly invested with
Yes.
you, your referral.
Louis from Love After
Yeah, we'll
Lockup.
talk about
He's a
him.
male.
Correct. Yeah, we
He's
did
in it.
talk about him.
Vincent Reed
But
was on it.
I want to give the gentleman on the line the opportunity to join and give his thoughts.
Hey, Simone. So this is Tolu. Um, there was a couple of times where when I had, trusted him and I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and leave my initial investment in there. And so this time I flew to LA because I seen he was in LA. And I think he was
Okay.
there to shoot a film because that's what he said. He was there to shoot a film. And I
Wait,
wanted to
wait,
see
wait,
him.
wait. So LA in the last year?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
But
we
then
have
probation,
we
so
have proof of
probation
him
violation
flying.
again. Got it.
yeah. So I flew to LA because I see the comments. They're like, "Oh, y'all didn't pull up on him." Oh, I pulled up. I flew to LA, and I was there actually for not only family, but I was also there for business. And I seen he was in LA, and I was like, "Oh, this is a good time to pull up on him." So I reached out to him and I said, "Hey, can we meet up? I want to see you face to face." And I want you to tell me. I like to read people's body language, and I want to see you face to face. That's all about me wanting to see you personally. So you can, because you told me over the phone you're a good talker. I just want to know, that we're good. And he was like, oh, yeah, let's meet up. He ignored all of my calls after that. And we were supposed to meet up for dinner. I kept blowing up his phone and I was like, hey, Christian, it's Tolu here. What's up? We supposed to meet up for dinner. You were supposed to drop the pin and we were going to come and meet up with you and Jen. And he never, ever picked up his phone. And then when I got back home, he messaged and he was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. We were so busy with filming. We were also doing Basketball Wives or whatever. And he was like, I was just super extremely busy. I guess my question to you, Simone, is, some legal advice. Do you think we should, just so that this doesn't, happen to others, do you think that we should also file a report with the Better Business Bureau and the FTC?
Okay, yes. So I technically I can't give legal advice because I'm not your lawyer. But if you were my homegirl or homeboy, I would say hell yeah. Now, what's tricky about the Better Business Bureau is he doesn't even have a page.
Mm.
Yeah.
So you may not be able to, but absolutely, you want to do it with both in the SEC. Now, Miss Ray,
I did file something with the Georgia State Consumer
okay,
Division
you can do
because
that as well.
again,
Consumer fraud.
be,
If this is consumer fraud,
right. Yes, and because Gold Reserve is registered with the state of Georgia. When I actually sent them, and I sent you that email as well, Simone, they basically told me, sorry, this is outside our scope. We can't help you.
so that's why I am saying the FBI is going to be your thing, but also the SEC. So, Miss Ray, I did look at the messages that you're talking about was your response from FINRA, and what FINRA was saying that they were outside the scope, but that SEC might be able to help. And then the SEC website that I linked in my description, it does cover Ponzi schemes, and particularly
Yes.
even if you're not licensed. So just to clarify,
Yes. And SEC did send me an email in one of those, I think it's in my victim letter where I
Okay.
screenshotted the SEC's email. SEC
Gotcha.
said the same thing. We can't help you. It's outside of our scope. You've got to do it with the FBI. So
Gotcha.
FINRA,
Thank you
SEC
so much.
both pointed towards the FBI.
Gotcha.
Well, like I said, I reached out to SEC and the FBI with my complaint, so it's done on my end.
Good. Okay, good. Yeah.
I'm on this like ugly on the eight.
Did anyone invest in Bitcoin when he started approaching
Oh,
Uh-uh.
yes.
excuse me,
And that's
Bitcoin
another
in the
Oh
thing.
Telegram group?
yes.
I
Oh,
have money
absolutely.
in the Bitcoin too
Me too.
with
Me too.
Christian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Crucifixion,
Filing
we coming for you, buddy.
fraud.
We coming.
Yeah, with the LLC. So what I'll do is, and so remember, I think that the best venues are the FBI, filing the FBI. This is wire. Okay, let me go back into clarify the offenses potentially that could be involved in here. The number one and the easiest to prove is wire fraud, because wire fraud is basically this. Wire fraud is I sent you some money for one thing and you used it for something else. That's it. And wire fraud usually goes into tax fraud. The government loves tax fraud because, that's how they can recover lost tax money. Also, remember, there's a law out there that says if you drop a dime on somebody who hasn't paid their taxes and they're ultimately able to collect, you, as a reward, get 30% of what the government is able to collect. So,
He said he was paying
Oh,
taxes.
I
yeah,
believe he's
he
paying
does
taxes,
claim he
but not
does.
on all of this. He's writing off losses left and right. In fact,
He told us that he pays more taxes than we do because of how many millions of dollars he makes.
no, probably how many millions of dollars he's stolen from y'all. That's
Mm-hmm.
probably why.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, someone says, what is it? Terry Murray said, I just can't believe he and her think they're going to get away with that. Yeah, I want to know. I am very interested in how much money Jennifer has given him, because you cannot convince me that she didn't give him something that she thought was going towards the restitution.
I know for a
She
fact
gave him that
due to the
250.
no, in the Telegram chat, he told everybody she gave him $5,000 for Project 1000.
Okay. And you said you saw
Wow.
her name on a list of
Yep.
investors in one of the projects, correct?
Yes. Yes.
And that makes sense because she mentioned in the Carlos King interview, she implied that she did give him some money to invest for her once she saw how
Mm-hmm.
much money he was making. So I believe he has made money. I just believe he's kept the money for himself to
Exactly.
live on and do the things he's wanted. What do you guys think?
I believe the exact same thing, and that's exactly how I felt. While
As
while he
Lisa
claimed to
would
be
say.
busting his ass, and I'm getting
Yeah,
put out on
Lisa
mine.
says
I believe he was over there buying her them Kelly
yep,
bags and taking all these excursions and trips to Paris
yep,
and
yep.
wherever, Italy and all this other type. And I called his ass out on that too. You know, I
We
told him,
did
I said,
too.
I'm
We
over here
said
getting put
you're
out on
spending our
my
money.
ass while you over there living the good life, and they over there, he's over there, posing for the cameras during Jennifer's bridal shower. He took pictures of whatever kind of gift that he bought her. My
And
thing
you
is,
know what
nigga,
his
that's my
excuse
money that
is?
you're gifting her.
And
That's
what
our
he will
money.
tell you, because he told us this on Zoom. You cannot blame him for the financial decisions we made to give to him that put us in a bad position. That's exactly what he told us. When I
And
said, Christian, there are people who have lost their homes.
In that clip that I gave Simone, y'all can clearly see that the nigga was lying. He
Right,
said exactly that. He guaranteed all of us that we were going to get seven figures
right.
by this time this year.
I also want to
I
encourage people.
specifically recorded that shit.
You did. I want to encourage people. I'm going to give you an analogy to another kind of case that I've worked on over the years, which was payday loan companies. I really, really hate them. And when I was doing expungements, I had people come across my desk where basically they were charged with theft by check. And I had a client who I did this through a pro bono legal aid. I did her expungement. She had a theft. She couldn't figure out why she couldn't get a job despite being overly qualified for various ones. We ran her background. Come to find out, she had 7 theft by checks on her record. What were they from? A payday loan company, Ace Cash Express. What they would do is when you didn't pay back your payday loan, that had 400% interest, by the way, they would file it with the district attorney's office as a bad check, meaning you bounced the check. This person even got arrested, had to sit in, couldn't make their bail, etc., and had to deal with a criminal record for that. Because with theft by check, what happens is they were being charged with it. Someone in the DA's office was like, hey, this doesn't fit, and it got dismissed. So she had 7 charges, all of which were dismissed. But the way Texas works is until you pay a lawyer like me to expunge it, and we cost $1,000 minimum per expungement, no, more like $1,500 per expungement. Until you do that, it sits on your record. Well, I was telling this to a woman that doesn't look like me, and her response is they wouldn't do that. They're a national corporation. They would never risk being sued. I said, you are a problem with America. You believe because it would never happen to you that it could never happen to anyone else. The truth of the matter is this corporation determined that you, people like you, would say what you're saying. And more specifically, they sized up who they are going to violate. And they've done this to the people that they knew other people wouldn't believe, or people who wouldn't have the resources to fight it in court the way they had. Specifically, when you think of payday loans, you think of someone who is desperate for money and in need. And that person will never have the resources, or does not have the resources, to hire a lawyer, etc. When it comes to these Ponzi schemers like this, they prey on people who have never invested before. If you've invested before, you wouldn't be coming to them. They prey on hope. They prey on people who came into some money and really just need a win in life. So I think it's important to not blame the victims, but it is important to hold people to say, okay, now that you know better, do something about it, and don't let them get away with it, because that's what creates more victims. And that's why I do love doing what I do. So does anyone have any final comments? Oh, and I do want to include that, like, throughout this, he starts with small, reasonable wins. So Alteria Ray, when she told her story, I thought that was so key, because she started basically with 4,500 that he grew to 13,000. And she did what you guys, majority of us would do here, which is, okay, maybe I'll try it with just a little bit and see how it goes. She tried it with a little bit. She saw how it goes. He also knew how strong of an influence she potentially has on people, and does, and that he had to let her win to bring in other people. That's how the Ponzi scheme works. So I believe
I absolutely agree. That's
yes.
again,
So
that's why I'm pissed, because
yeah,
I have a network and people know I very much carry myself in my name, and I'm proud of who I am. So I would never go and put somebody in something that was illegal knowingly.
right. No,
And I can't,
absolutely not.
and what I honestly just can't believe that his aunt and his family is backing him up on this bullshit.
Honestly,
I
I
can't.
think his aunt, and I think his mom, and I think his Uncle Troy and his wife and everybody else, they got paid our money.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah,
thing.
I
So
believe so
people
too.
are very
I
stupid.
believe so too.
There's a lot of really stupid people out there. And I believe that Jen and I believe his relatives are so stupid to think that, oh, because I got paid, you must have gotten paid too. No, no,
No.
dummy. This is how he perpetrates it. So watch this. I can guarantee you this. In the next weeks, we're going to start to see, going to the public, people who are going to talk about how he changed their lives, how he made them money, blah, 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 blah. But that's just a sliver. That 2 things can be true. He could have given you your win, especially your win on 5,000, 4,000, and took 70 from these people over here.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, how is all of our stories similar? How are we the liars, and how are we hating on him and Jen when all of our stories are similar? I don't even know Altera. I'm not even
Right.
connected to her and her group, and all of our stories are
Same with
similar.
Anonymous. Same with
So
Anonymous.
how are we lying? How are we lying? Make it make sense.
Not only that, but every one of us has receipts and text messages from him.
Exactly. Exactly.
So
And not only that, but we all live in different states.
all different states.
Exactly. And that's why we didn't pull up on his ass for the person who asked that. Because I'm the
I'm
pull up
telling y'all
queen.
right now, if my husband, and I wish my husband could get on, but he's at work and he's with a customer because I already asked him to get on. I'm telling you guys, he has cussed Christian out. And if my husband knew Christian's address, he would be in prison right now for murder. I
I
promise
probably
you.
would too. I probably would too. Because
Yeah,
he,
well,
I mean, my
we
thing
want to
is this:
keep justice short of that.
I'm disabled. You didn't give two apple shits about stealing from someone who entrusted you with all that they had in your raggedy ass so-called company. You didn't give two apple shits about me. You didn't care that I was about to be homeless and destitute. All you were concerned about, his rebuttals were, oh, it's Father's Day and I'm spending time with my children. And then the next day when I confronted him about it, he says, it's my birthday and I'm just trying to celebrate, life. And I told him, I said, the mere fact that you're more concerned about celebrating your funky ass birthday versus giving me my money that's owed to me is troublesome to me.
That's the problem. That's why he doesn't need to go to Paris. You don't need to get to celebrate your life on the backs of those who sacrificed. You just know. And I don't understand why that's so difficult. Are you slow? Well, he can't be too
Mm,
slow. He scammed all these people. I feel like you do have to have some intelligence.
yeah, you do. He
And
he
you have to
passes
lack a
himself
conscience.
off as trying to be intelligent, but you weren't too bright, dummy. We still
Absolutely.
got that ass.
All right, so let me
Yeah.
recap on what the next steps are, guys. All right, so I'm going to create a Google Sheet that's going to have where you can put in your name, your email address, and a phone number you're okay with being called or texted at. And anyone who wants to be able to communicate with other victims, you can put your info on that sheet. Okay, that's number
Hmm.
one. Number two, anybody who would like to be part of the joint letter to the court where I informed the judge, hey, for the limited purpose of this letter, this is to inform you that on behalf of these victims, um, Christian Gold or Christian Walden, aka Christian Gold, is believed to have been running a Ponzi scheme. He's stolen over $300,000 from the victims represented herein. And that our request is that his travel pass be denied for fear that he is a flight risk and that he will flee to this wedding with the hundreds of thousands that are owed to these victims and will never have to face justice within the statute of limitations or ever at all. Okay. So if you, and to do that, I just need you to fill out the FBI complaint form. That's what I will attach to the letter because that form, and you are submitting that under penalty of perjury, meaning you have attested you're telling the truth and the same truth that you would tell if you were brought into the court. And I will be sending that to both. I'm going to e-file it with the court and I'm going to submit it to his probation officer. And if anyone who wants to, you can pick up the phone. You can call the probation officer, no problem. Uh, Taylor Williams, I believe is her name. Taylor Williams. All you need is a case number, and you would call the DeKalb County Department of Community Supervision. That's what it's called. You can ask to speak to any supervisor there, and you can give them his case number. Let them know you are a victim of his financial crimes Ponzi scheme, and let them do their thing. But I do believe that at this point, it seems that because Christian was already reprimanded in August of 23 for leaving the state without permission. Then when the probation officer this July called to ask him if he had done so again, and he bold-faced lied in her face, I believe the court is going to take those things into consideration, plus the fact that travel passes are easily granted. And even one of his victims talked about getting a travel pass from the exact same county probation services department and using it to travel to Mexico. It's not a difficult thing to do, but it's something that you simply have to ask for in advance. You can't do what you want to do out here and just be breaking the law. I believe that the court is likely going to tell him, no, we're not granting your travel pass. And there is a chance that they're going to say, you need to come serve some time, whether it's the whole year he has left or whether it's going to be 30 days. 30 days that would end up, canceling or postponing this Paris wedding. But at this point, Jennifer, if you marry this man after the court postpones your wedding, that is as good as a slap in the face of God. Because there's no way God would put you through something so traumatic and publicly embarrassing without, and you still not learn your lesson. Anybody have any final words before we conclude today that you want to add?
Simone, are you going to email that to us? The
Yes.
information that you
Yeah,
mentioned?
I'm gonna get you guys' email. If I don't already have it, I'm gonna send it to Alteria, sorry, and then you can disperse it to
It's
everyone. But also,
Altera.
thank you, Altera. But also, yes, I'll just send that. So why do you not invite to travel? Someone else made a great comment real quick. Pray then Hustle said, let's conclude on this one. And I want to hear each of your thoughts. She says, you have to wonder why he did not just apply to travel. Something ain't right. I believe it is because if he did that, Jen would applying to travel. I believe it was because Jen already gave him the money for the restitution, thinking that it was 250. If he applied to travel, she would know, like, wait, why are you applying to travel? It's already been taken care of. Maybe because that would have let her know that he never paid the restitution with the money. He did something else. That would be my only guess. But you're right. I feel like there's something going on. And I want to hear a comment from each.
My opinion is he might not have applied for travel because he might not have even really told her that he was on probation or parole. Because
That's what I think.
I will tell you, everybody on this call that's a victim, we did not know he was on probation or parole. Tolu and I met Christian in person back in 2021 in Florida. We never knew this man was on probation
Mhm.
or parole.
Because you
Mhm.
probably wouldn't have given him your money if you had known. That meant
No.
because he portrays himself as rehabilitated. And so if you
Mhm.
know that someone's still on papers, it's gonna make you second guess. Well, are you? Are you you're so actively in this? But I want to hear from each of you just real quickly as we leave. We can start at top. Anonymous, do you think Jennifer is complicit in the scam? I want your thoughts. Going around, I guess like a
Um, I think she is being in denial somewhat about it. I think she knows something is off, but she just wants to live in her own little world as long as she reaps the benefits. That's what I think.
okay. Altera, I think we know what you
I
think.
I I think she is a part of it. 110%. I think she knows everything in and out, and she is a part of it. I don't think that she's as dumb as she plays to be. I think that's just her character on TV.
All right, next.
She made a statement on the Tamron Hall show claiming that she prayed for, she prayed for this, meaning she prayed for God to send her a man like Christian. I believe she did manifest it. I believe she did because every dude that she has ever, messed around with has some type of criminal background. She
Yes.
has something, her energy, for some odd reason, it attracts crooks, crooked men.
Yes.
So yeah, I definitely believe that she is complicit. I believe especially after hearing everybody's stories, and the gentleman that said that she hung the phone up in his face, saying that it was a wrong number. She
Oh
she
yeah.
knew she was in on it. She was. At
Oh,
first, I was gonna give Jen some grace, but now we coming after you too, boo.
right. Next, Carmen. Thoughts? Closing thoughts? Does she know? Was she complicit?
She is absolutely a part of it. She definitely knows everything. Scammers like Christian, not only, yes, he got one over on us, but he also is manipulating, Jen. Love is blind, but at
Hmm.
the same time, don't let it mislead, don't let it, deceive you to where you're going to sit there and back him up knowing that he's scamming and hurting everybody else out there.
Right.
And so, yeah, she knows because she picked up the phone. I know that was her that picked up the phone, hung up, and said I got the wrong number, and then he called back on the same number. So yeah, she's totally in on it.
Gotcha. Anybody else?
I will say that I honestly think that Christian knew what he was doing from the beginning, because he is a criminal and does have a criminal background. He might, I think he knew that Jennifer also dealt with scammers in her past and he fed off of that. And because he
Hmm.
is a slick talker, he convinced her that he was such a good man. However, I do believe that Jennifer um, notice all these red flags. We're not the first to tell her this, like, come on this platform. There's
Right.
many people have told her, hey, it's a red flag. He has red flags. What's going on? And she choose to close her eyes about it. And if she hasn't, she choose not to state what she knows. So I think she has some type of an involvement in this, if not all of it.
No, I follow you. Or my man, the reality show version. So it's that. All right. Anyone else?
Hi, it's Joe here. I know you can't see me, but I'm sure you can hear me.
Yes.
I've been quiet in all of this really because I am embarrassed.
It's okay.
Don't be. Don't be.
That
But
is how they get away with this. That is how they get away with this. Don't be. Don't be.
and not only that is because all the money I gave him, my husband didn't really know how much I gave. I mean, he knows now, but he still doesn't know what's happening, and I'm scared to tell him because he will be very angry and um I mean, it's and for me, it's just money, not a big deal, but it's the principle of it. I come from a poor family, and I really wanted to teach my kids
Secure your future.
and be better. And now I'm just like so heartbroken, and my life is just shattered.
No.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Joe.
Me too.
I
Oh man,
definitely
you
echo
got me
your
teary
sentiments.
eyed.
Yeah,
Right.
You got me teary
I'm
eyed.
I'm too
Don't
For
pissed
cry,
off
real.
to
please, because
cry,
I'm gonna
but
cry.
my heart is broken too.
Yes,
To
absolutely.
think
And
that I tried to convince my whole family to invest, you
yeah,
know,
You
and
just
I'm an islander, so I have a huge family, and it's like I'm just glad that they were smart enough to say, no, you try first, and then when you succeed, you let us know,
yeah,
and then we'll follow suit. But no, I can't. I don't even want to tell them what's happening because I'm so embarrassed. But I'm just glad that they didn't give him any of their money.
there's over 400 of you, okay? So do not feel we don't
Right.
live our lives expecting that the person that we're here to impress is going to scam us. And you
Hmm.
weren't given all of the facts. You had certain facts, but the most important thing is you forgive yourself because now action based on what you do know. And I'm very grateful for you coming onto my flat platform because you're going to help other people not get scammed. And that's huge. And you're going to be blessed accordingly. You are definitely going to be blessed for that.
Yeah, and so I see a lot of people out here, and only a couple of them have contributed to the dividends, which took very seriously. So I took every penny that I did not have to give him
Mm,
because I thought it was going to lead to a lifetime of wealth. And now, I wish I could get that money back because I could do so much more with it.
it's okay.
I did the exact same thing that you did, Joe. So don't
Yes,
feel
don't
bad. You're
feel
not
bad.
by yourself. We're all
You're
here.
not.
Yeah.
We gonna all get through this together.
Yeah. And yes, there were over 400 victims. Correct. Yeah.
You're
There are
not
chats
alone.
that have the victims all in there, and there's over
So,
yeah, I can't. I'm having difficulty muting others, but we're about to wrap up here. Thank you again. Y'all hit the like, hit the subscribe. Ladies and gentlemen, I will be following up with you guys, and everyone, thank you again. Hit that subscribe button as well. Share this with a friend or family member that may be going through a scam. Y'all have a blessed Sunday, and I will be in touch this week.
All
Take care.
right. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank
Bye,
you.
guys.